Hey guys, it's Real. Welcome back to another Spectate gameplay. Today we are spectating none other than the boy Faker in the mid lane. He is ranked 2 right now on the Korean Challenger ladder. And in this video I want to show you guys how to play Korea. Not quite what I want to show you. If I could show you that, that would be interesting, but I don't think I can. How to play Akali. Through how Faker plays Akali. Obviously, Akali recently got that rework, so some of you guys might not be too sure of how she works. So if you watch this video, my goal from this video, guys, you watch this and you will know how to play Akali. Simple as, okay? I'm going to go into real depth about how he's playing him, so we're going to talk about trading patterns, item builds, runes, combos, play styles, all these kind of things, right? Power spikes, whatever. I'm going to go into a huge depth here because I've watched this game back before, so and I've been researching different things about Akali, so this is going to be really in depth, so you really will learn a lot about this champion. That's the goal, at least. So first things first, here are your runes. Now most of the Akalis that I've been seeing, bear in mind Akali is a fairly new champion, right? So some stuff will probably be a little bit experimental, but from what I have seen, most of these Akali players in the Korean Challenger ladder are running this primary page, domination, with those minor keys, minor runes in there as well. So the domination with electrocute and all that stuff, that is standard. In fact, I'm going to pause here real quick because we're missing a trade here, which is what I want to show you as well. That's standard, right? But what is a bit unique to what Faker's doing here and what people are experimenting a bit more with is the secondary tree. Faker in this game has gone what you can see, the nullifying orb and celerity. Mini hex shrinker for the Zoe matchup makes sense. Also playing into the Nidalee jungle and Cho'Gath in the bot lane as well. There's a lot of magic damage there, guys. But I have seen the secondary tree be the resolve tree with bone plating and second wind as well, just to get you through that lane phase. So first things first, let's take a look at your trade patterns. Now at level 1, Faker's taken his E. Now if you don't know what Akali's abilities do, I recommend you look those up first, because I'm not going to explain them all in this video. But essentially your E is you throw something at someone and dash back at the same time. And then if you hit that target with the shuriken that you throw at them, you can then travel towards them, much like a snowball in Aram if you've ever done it. So he hits the target with the shuriken and then dashes towards him. Now the mistake he makes in this trade is going for that one extra auto attack, because what I told you guys we're gonna go really in depth in this, guys. You're gonna learn a crap ton about Akali, because you're passive on Akali. Whenever you hit someone with an ability, if you're not in melee range with them, basically, if you're a little bit further away, you will trigger this thing called, I don't know what it's called, but it's where you start whacking, like you'll see it, she starts doing this and her weapon starts glowing. It basically means you can do more extra damage on your next hit. So you can see the way this trade starts. She throws the E and then she gets this glowing blade, right? Because she's hopped away from the E, because she's not like in this little circle around Zoe. So she's got her passive up here, which means she's going to do more damage. So the trade pattern should be hit the E, jump in, auto attack, proc the electrocute, back away. That should be your trade pattern here. And obviously as you grow up in levels, you would use your Q in this scenario as well. Obviously if you need to disengage with your W2, whatever, but that's it. That's your trade. You can see, bam, you almost half health Zoe. You don't take any damage here. But obviously the downside is then Faker goes to auto attack, which does a little bit more damage, but he tanks all this minion damage here and then allows Zoe to trade back as well. Meaning that he actually loses way more health than he should. He still wins the trade and pops one of Zoe's potions, but he doesn't. It's not as efficient as it should be. So that's how you trade in lane as Akali, outside of just poking with your Q. If you don't know what her Q does, again I said look it up. But Akali's Q, basically, you'll see it. I don't need to explain it because you're going to see it soon. And now the way that you play the lane phase as Akali, the way Faker, this is Faker by the way, hide and bush, there he is. The way that Faker plays the lane phase and how most Akalis tend to is you're quite passive, specifically before you get level 6. So you're playing around getting level 6, you're playing around your W cooldown, and you're also playing around your first item, which is Gunblade. Everyone who plays Akali rushes Gunblade. So she's going to get level 2 here, and then you'll see what her Q does. There it is. So she's level 2. The Q is that. You fire out these little shurikens. Now, when they have basically no cooldown, and when you use that ability, when you have high energy, essentially full energy, it has to be, you'll heal for a butt ton of damage, and as you get more ranks in your queue, the more you'll heal for, and then the Ravenous Hunter and the runes obviously increases your healing, and so does the Gunblade. So basically, the way you play the lane phase, and I'm going to skip forward a bit here, because there's not too much to see, is you do genuinely play really passive in the lane phase, farming under tower with your Q, whatever. Just like you're really not looking to go too aggressive here. Now I'm just going to quickly rewind. Sorry if this annoys you guys, but we're going in massive depth here for you to learn how. Okay. Well, I just got bug splatted, so I tell you what, lads, I'm going to reload the replay, and we'll squidge it together. We'll get back to that point, okay? I'll see you in a sec. Hello, long time no see. So the point I wanted to make here is to address your secondary training pattern, specifically when you have all of your abilities available, right? This one being your W. So your W, your Shroud. It's a weird ability. Like I say, you really need to look up these abilities before you watch this video, because it's it's unique as hell. But basically, it makes you invisible when you're in it. So what you want to do is you're kind of poking out, you're throwing your abilities down, but then you're dipping in and out of your shadow. So you'll see Faker here. He's thrown his Q down, and he's dipped out the shadow, and he's walked far enough away to get his passive on his Q, on his auto attack, and then he's just whacked her with an auto. That's basically it, guys. All right, that's basically a lot of it comes around a little bit of poke, and then you want to move out. It's a 500 range around your target that you've hit in order to get that little passive where you then whack someone around the head for more damage. So it's important that you tag someone with ability damage. Can be your Q or your E or your ultimate, and then you dip out and then you dip back in, and your W is a tool to do that without taking too much harass. So I mentioned lane phase, boring stuff. You really just want to farm up with your Q. Nothing too much going on here, and especially into the Zoe, which is like a really tough matchup. Like it's loads of harass and all that stuff. And you're basically just farming here, as you can see. Also, that's a cool trick you can do too, using your E to jump over walls. I mean, I'm really just going to fast forward this stuff. It is tedious as heck. Pushing the lane out, pushing, recall, because that's what Zoe did as well. And then on your first back, Faker likes to rush, is rushing Merc Treads. I believe that is very matchup dependent though. I don't think you normally rush Merc Treads, but you can see as well, he also went for the Door and Shield. He's just going very, very passive here. Like, he's going to rush Mercs. I think partially not just because of Zoe, but also because he's playing versus a Nidalee. Alright. Again, let's just speed through here. So he's just going to be playing really patient in this lane, using Q to get the healing, and waiting for a gank, which is what's coming through here. So Pyke gets the sick engage. Now, Akali's only level 5 right now. Faker does not have his ultimate available. Basically, all you need to do here is just do your combo, but make sure you tag your E on your target when it's easy to do so. The E is the shuriken you throw out, because that will then allow you to dash forward again and chase your target down. So you want to do your combo. See, okay, we'll see what Faker does here. Okay, so he throws out his Q, does some auto attack, and then presses E, because now he's got his passive up, right? And he's holding the E until, you know, just jumps back in with E. Ideally, he would wait until that flash has gone down, but it's very unlikely Zoe is going to burn her flash before Faker comes in anyway. But ideally, this flash would go down first, and then you would chase your target. So here's the thing. Faker now reaches level 6. And your ultimate is much like old Akali ulti. You have 2 activations of it. It's not targeted either. You just use it in a direction. The first ultimate you use does a bunch of damage and stuns your target for like half a second. And the second activation of your ultimate, the second dash, is a massive execute. Okay, so in this scenario, all he needs to do is jump in with his ultimate, and then he can probably just press R twice here. But basically, you want to jump in with your ulti, you know, do a bit like throw your Q out, and then, you know, do your ultimate again. Now in this scenario here, he jumps through with his ulti, actually misses Zoe. You can tell the dash range isn't that flattering. Misses the Zoe. Ignites, throws out his Q, misses that as well, and that one is crucial because now that is a really weird animation. That is crucial as well. Yeah, I'm going to screenshot that. I don't know why, but that's just weird. Misses his Q, so that sucks. But also now it means he's not going to be able to get his passive up here too. But then he's going to pop his second ultimate, and look at that damage. Just slides through, execute with the ignite. This is the most challenger career play in the world, by the way. Yeah, not genuinely just ins. That generally just happens. But you can see, essentially, it's not a... Nope. Do not call me. My apologies. Let me paste that right here so I've got that screenshot on hand, because that was a very strange ass recording. Let me just tell this. Alright, so there you can see you're kind of like all-in combo. I mean, that honestly, that was a pretty bad example of what to do, but you kind of get the idea of what Akali is about, right? It's all about, it's important that when you're playing Akali that you're getting your passive off. Your passive is the core of your trades. It's the core of your all-ins. You want to get that passive off. So again, we're going to fast forward here. The items, he's just gone from that merc trade, so now he's going into the gunblade with that, what's it called? Cutlass secondary here. Obviously being able to slow someone down is really good because you're kind of getting in on them and you want to keep them in place and stuff like that. But Pyke is coming in for round 2 of the gank right now. Now this one's not, you know, you miss that Q, nothing's going to happen there, so whatever. Let's just ignore that one. And keep going here. So just going to push, blah, 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 blah. The more ranks you get in your Q, obviously, well, you max your Q first, right? So the more ranks you get in your abilities, the better you like wave clear and stuff. So now you can see that Faker is playing less under his tower, which also unlocks his ability to start roaming around. Now that he's got more points in this Q, especially when this Q reaches rank 5, by the way, it's rank 4 right now, but when it reaches rank 5, it does like, it does more damage to minions and monsters as well. Jungle, Akali, rejoice. I mean, at that point, once you reach level 9, I mean, you're not really clearing the jungle, whatever. Anyway, so you can see now that he is able to shove out this lane, and once he's reached this point, because he has high wave clear on his Q now, because he's got more points in it, he can, you're seeing he's looking to go for those roams. His Q also, all of Akali's abilities here, if I'm not mistaken, all of his abilities outside of his E actually scale with AD as well as AP. His E only scales with AD. It's not even AP. So you can see why the Gunblade is an important first buy, and actually why he's gone for the longsword over the Amtone for the ability power, which also improves his trading, his last hits as well, because of his auto attacks are enhanced in power too. Now we're going to start seeing Faker do a little bit more one-on-one stuff soon, but again he's got that good wave clear, so he can shove the mid lane and then look to roam down. Again, emphasizing that this has happened now because he's got more points in his queue. So he's looking for a bot side roam, as bot side is now fighting that 2v2. To be honest, his team doesn't really need him, but either way, he is far from this fight and he wants to engage on this fight as fast as possible because, I mean, it's going to be over soon and you're also very close to this tower. So he actually uses his ultimate to engage in this scenario. Like, not getting any damage off, not getting the stun off, just engaging with the ultimate, just so that he can get closer to land his abilities, especially that E, which is going to tag his target here and give him the ability to jump in and jump out. But Shen using his flash. The cool thing about this Shroud, by the way, is you cannot get hit under tower with it either. So you can see just how aggressive Faker's able to play under the tower and how aggressive you can play as Akali, because you really do not give a crap. You do not give a crap about towers there. Yeah, actually, does he even get anything out of that? I don't think he even gets... I genuinely don't think he gets anything from that. Either way, his team is now going for a rinse and repeat gank here, guys. And this one's just easy peasy. Tag the Q, get the auto attack. Now this is where I'm excited to show you this stuff, guys, because this is where it gets exciting. So now Faker has activated his passive because he hit Shen with an ability, and now Shen has moved 500 units away from him. That 500 units is the magic number, because when you're inside that 500 units, you do not activate the bonus damage on your passive. So it's all about hitting, tapping it, backing it, tapping it again. So now that he's got his passive up, he can finish off the Shen, which he does. And then he throws his Q out onto the Nidalee. Now this is important. You see it doesn't do a huge amount of damage. It's decent, but it doesn't do a huge amount of damage. But more importantly, Nidalee is now dashed away, which activates the passive again, as you saw there. So now he hits him with another passive, throws his Q down again, is getting the electrocute through too. Actually, not sure. I don't think he's going to get another passive here, is he? That actually looks like his passive. I'm honestly not 100% sure whether he gets the passive here or not. But either way, he's just chasing him down with his passive. There's the ignite as well. The Q combo there too. And bam! He just destroys that guy under tower. Or chases him down and destroys him. So you can see your passive there. All good stuff. Throwing out the Q. Spamming your Q. Getting that passive. Running someone down. Tier 2 boots obviously helping with the fact that he can then do that. And he's picked himself up 2 cheeky kills there. And he's going to be building towards that Gunblade. I think he's probably going to be able to afford the Gunblade. 1.7, no, but he can. I think he can get both parts of it. Yeah, he can. Okay, almost. Not quite the cutlass, but he does get the thingy. But now this revolver here, I did actually talk about rushing cutlass, didn't I? Which was wrong. You don't want to rush cutlass because the revolver works off of your passive, right? So you basically, the whole kind of trading pattern that you have on Akali, you just Q someone and then you have this Hextech revolver here to like shoot someone and you absolutely obliterate them. At this point, level 9 as well, rank 5 of your Q, especially when you reach your Gunblade, your level 11, you really ramp up the strength here. So Zoe's now getting kind of aggro here, jumps in, pops the ignite, it's a fake ignite mind you, but still jumps in, pops the ignite, and now we're looking a bit mano a mano here. Now if Faker wants to make this play happen, you know what, I'm actually not going to break this one down, because you're going to see what happens here. Faker goes in, puts his Q down, gets his passive, which he's looking to then hit onto the Zoe. So far, everything is good, except he doesn't get that passive hit off, and now he's just gone a little bit too far overextended. So basically, the problem here is just that Faker goes in way too deep. Faker goes in too deep, does not get his passive hit off, and also on top of that, Faker doesn't actually have his ultimate up. There is no ulti on Faker, no ignite either. This is disgusting, by the way. Shen dashed in, ignited him, and Faker just spams Q and heals up and doesn't die. Disgusting. But that was the big mistake of that play. Faker initiates that play, kind of fails his combo because, like I mentioned, does not get that passive hit off, and doesn't have his ultimate, doesn't have his ignite, versus someone who does have ignite. I would say does have ulti, but it's Zoe, you know. So you are going to, like, yeah, it just, be careful. Don't get too ballsy. Don't get too aggro there, guys, okay? Be a bit more respectful. But either way, Faker 4 1-on-1, playing this lane solidly, you know. And this is beautiful stuff right here. Please don't bug splat. Please don't bug splat. Okay, beautiful stuff. Doesn't bug splat. Sorry for rewinding, fellas, but we want to see this one because this is his first proper 1v1 of the game. All right, so Zoe's going to face me. He's got using this pink ward here as well, like to bait this one, but he jumps in, initiates with his ultimate. Now his ultimate, you don't need to target someone, so you can just jump over that wall if you know someone's there. You don't even have to be able to click on them. Fog of war, no problemo. Jumps in with his ultimate, bam. Zoe's now stunned, which sets up his Q and the auto attack for the electrocute here, plus the Hextech revolver. No passive going through just yet. He's now walking away from the Zoe, putting his W down here, walking away, walking around, just trying to, like, you know, getting in between the tower and the Zoe here. And you can see he's now activated, I believe he's activated his passive here. I think that was his passive either way because he walked away. If not, it doesn't really matter. His Q's come up, so he's going to throw that one down. And then he executes with his ultimate. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. He does so much damage now. So much damage. Now, because I paused so much, you can't actually see the shroud there, but there is his W. His W's right there. And, I mean, you tower dive with that W up every single time. You can do it. There's no threat there because your W blocks tower. So he takes a Q from Nidalee here. And again, another scenario where you want to throw out the Q for the harass. Bam. Q. He's walking away for the passive. Gets the passive. Auto-attacking mate. Well, he's not going to bother because he's trying to not die. But whatever. It doesn't matter. His point being that he makes that aggressive play under the tower and then drops the shroud because shroud drops tower aggro. The tower cannot see you in that W. Absolutely nutty. So he can make that play under the tower with it, you know, assuming his team can come in and save him, obviously, because the tower may as well not exist. It's just really grim stuff. But again, maxing W second, by the way, here, guys. And you know what? I'm just going to double check. Is that what the other people do? Other Akalis max E second. Other Akalis do max that E second, which is... so I guess that's kind of preferential there a little bit, guys. Whether you max the W or whether you max the E. kind of up to you how you want to play. So complete that Gunblade now, guys. He is pretty blooming strong. Loads of damage. Respect will have to be paid towards him. There's a huge cooldown on that ultimate, though. That's a ridiculously high cooldown. Zoe, mate, you're walking way too close. Don't. Nope, he's dead. Zoe is dead. What are you doing, Zoe? You can't do that. You've been tagged with the Q. Fake has got his passive up here, and then you just walk up to him like this. There is no way you survive this. Faker doesn't even have his ultimate up here. If Faker had his ulti, 1000% Zoe would die. But in this scenario, the passive hit goes through there, the electrocute, another Q comes down, and an ignite. I don't think that ignite will actually kill him then. But I think Faker thinks it will. Okay, it very nearly does, but still, Zoe, buddy, look how much damage comes through. It's just absolutely incredible. Vile stuff. Vile stuff. Zoe's still knocking about here. You gotta be careful, Zoe, mate, because you could be in a bit of a pickle. Spam that Q, push that wave in. 3 Qs and the whole wave dies, including a cannon wave. And then you just push down the tower. You know, with Gunblade, you push pretty fast as well. Because you got AD and AP. And you just keep going. Because, like, who can stop you here? If you see, like, two people just die topside. Hits the E. Destroys Zoe. Tags the Q, gets the passive. Hits the passive, hits the Q. What even happened here? And then I don't know why she goes back in, but still. Holy crap, Faker. Holy crap. As I said on the EULCS broadcast, like a priest in a restroom. Holy crap. Shouldn't reuse my jokes, but that's what you're missing out if you don't watch LCS lads. And then the enemy team is now going to surrender. Because it's Korean solo queue, and if you're that far behind, people surrender. But bloody hell. Anyway, I hope you learned about how to play Akali, especially in like the early game and stuff like that. And you know, yeah, just that I went really in depth this time. And if you appreciated that extra in depth, rather than just blasting through the game, you know, give me that thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you prefer that mega in depth stuff like this and really like hard learning a champion rather than just kind of like seeing how someone plays and all that stuff. But yeah, just give me that feedback because this is a bit different from what I've done before. As a closing comment here, guys, I'm going to make 2. Firstly, I think you're amazing. I think you're really nice. You're a great person. Thank you for watching my video, and I appreciate it. If you don't think you're great and amazing, well, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. And the second thing that I want to, as my second closing remark, what do you buy next on Akali? Because he only got 1 item before the game ended. Well, from what I have been able to peruse from looking at other Akali players, you just go full AP after that point. For example, basically like old Akali, really. Like Zhonya's seems to be quite common pick up here. Death Cat, Void Staff, Morella Nomicon, Banshee's Veil. There's a handful of different stuff that people are running here. But if it's AP, basically they tend to buy it. I think there is a benefit to getting Zhonya's as well because that gives you the... it's kind of like extending the... It's similar to your shroud mechanic, right? So you kind of just... Yeah. But also, fair point that I should mention here. Sorry, that's actually 3 closing remarks. Sorry about that. Everyone that I've seen thus far on Akali actually buys Merc Treads. Now, I don't know whether that's because there is a small sample size that I've been able to see. You know, matchups into like LeBlanc, Zori, Rise, that kind of thing. People buy Mercs, but... people are not... Well, I will just say people are not afraid to buy Mercs. If you want to go Sork Shoes and then get like an Oblivion Orb and like a Morello's early, that's a huge snowball build. You get loads of damage. That's great. But don't be afraid to buy those Mercs as an assassin and stuff. But yeah, thanks so much for watching my video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up if you'd like to subscribe to me for more. And I will see you in my next video.